When he said it, the house was quiet. Not the heavy kind of silence, not the dramatic one you see in movies, just normal. The kind of silence where the refrigerator hums, where the clock keeps ticking, where life seems to go on, even when yours is about to stop. "I'm leaving," he said. No anger, no shaking voice, no tears, as if he was telling me he'd be late for dinner. I was standing by the sink, a wet coffee mug in my hands, crumbs on the counter. An ordinary evening. And I remember thinking, this can't be the moment. Moments like this are supposed to feel bigger. "Leaving where?" I asked. Not because I didn't understand, but because my mind refused to catch up with reality. He sighed. The sigh of a man who had already said these words 100 times in his head. "I just can't live like this anymore." We were married for 18 years. 18 years is not just time. It's routines, holidays, inside jokes, shared passwords, children's birthdays, groceries, laundry, survival. It's a life. People used to say, "You two are so solid, so calm, so stable." And I believed it, because we didn't fight, we didn't scream, we didn't throw things. We were quiet, too quiet. Our mornings looked the same. Coffee, news on his phone, me packing lunches, kids rushing out the door. Evenings were predictable. Dinner, TV, separate screens, occasional comments about work. "How was your day?" "Fine." "You tired?" "Yeah." End of conversation. I can't remember when he last asked me, "How are you really doing?" Not politely, not automatically, but with curiosity, with care. And I didn't notice it disappearing. That's the dangerous part. Love rarely leaves in one dramatic moment. It fades quietly while you're busy keeping everything together. "This isn't sudden," he said that night. "I've been feeling this way for a long time." I stared at him. "How long?" I asked. He paused. "I don't know. Years, maybe." Years. Do you know what it feels like to hear that someone left you emotionally while you were still cooking for them, sleeping next to them, planning the future with them? It feels like betrayal without a villain. "But we're a family," I whispered. He looked at me, really looked at me, and for the first time in years, there was no warmth in his eyes. We used to be. When he packed his things, I sat on the bed. I watched him fold shirts I had bought him, ironed for him, complimented him in. "You moving in with someone?" I asked. He hesitated. "No, I'll be on my own for now." For now. I held on to those words like oxygen, because for now sounds temporary, and temporary feels survivable. I didn't know then that people who say "for now" rarely come back. When the door shut behind him, I didn't cry. I sat down on the floor, and that's when it hit me. Not pain, not anger, emptiness, the kind that echoes. I walked through the house, touched familiar things, looked at photos, And suddenly I noticed something strange. In the last few years of pictures, we weren't touching, standing side by side, smiling, but no hands, no closeness, like two people pretending they still belonged in the same frame. After he left, my mind did something cruel. It started replaying everything. How he stopped holding my hand. How conversations became practical, not personal. How his phone mattered more than my words. And every time I had an excuse ready. He's stressed. It's just midlife. All marriages change. I protected the relationship by betraying my own intuition, because admitting the truth would have meant admitting I was lonely in my own marriage. He came back a week later to get the rest of his things. "You look tired," he said. I laughed, a quiet, bitter laugh. "Funny," I said. "You're noticing that now." He looked down. "I'm sorry." "For what?" I asked. "For leaving? Or for disappearing long before you did?" He didn't answer. And then I said the words that had been forming inside me. "You didn't leave that night. You left years ago. And I've been living with the ghost of you ever since." Here's the part no one tells you. The grief changes. At first, you miss him. Then you miss the idea of us. And then you start seeing yourself again. I wasn't a bad wife. I was a convenient one. I smoothed everything over. I swallowed my needs. I told myself love meant endurance. But love is not silence, and marriage is not survival. It's been 2 years. The kids are older. The house is quieter. And for the first time in a long time, the quiet doesn't scare me. Because this silence has honesty in it. I listen to myself now. And I know something I didn't know before. Being alone is not the worst thing. Being unseen while someone sleeps next to you, that is. If this story feels familiar, if something inside you tightened while listening, you're not broken. You're not dramatic. You're not asking for too much. Sometimes the relationship doesn't end. It slowly stops being alive. And noticing that is not failure. It's awareness. And awareness is always the beginning of something new.